a few weeks after I started my real entrepreneurial journey, I agreed to do this program that cost $16,000 over 4 months. And the goal was to go from zero to, I don't know, 10K a month or whatever, right? That's kind of like, I guess, the first step that a lot of people try to make, go from 0 to 5K a month, 0 to 10K a month, whatever. And it was a very legitimate program. Okay, so I'm going to go through this and talk about the lessons that I learned, the failures, but at no point am I going to bash the company that I work with, because spoiler alert, it didn't turn out too well for me. And that's really hard to say out loud. And a lot of it, 100% of it, is my fault. So I started making content on YouTube as my new business strategy. And silly me, I just thought like, oh, okay, I'm going to post some videos onto YouTube and the leads are going to be flowing. So I just had this cadence of videos. I was doing it every couple of days and it was just crickets, right? Because I had a link to my website, which I'm not really using right now, but a link to a Calendly thing. And I just thought like I would just get leads. I would get calls. I would book calls. I don't really know. Obviously, like starting from zero, that just doesn't happen, right? So I was like, oh man, I need more progress. I need some help. So I was scrolling YouTube one day and this guy popped up who just dropped like a 5-day webinar thing. It was an hour for each one. And I watched each one of them. And little did I know at the time, but I was in this guy's funnel, right? And it sounded legitimate and awesome. And I was like, okay, I can do this, right? So I signed up to do the call and I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I've never done anything like this in my life before. And I told my wife the night before the call, I was like, you know what, this might be really expensive. It might be like $3,000 to $4,000. I'm not really too sure. Like this guy seems legit. He probably is going to charge pretty well for the service that he does, right? So I go on the call. Still sounds great, right? Because I watched all the VSL, the pre-video stuff. I did all the stuff. I did all my homework. And I get on the call and he gets to the price drop and it was $16,000. And he could probably see me like sweating on the call. And like my eyes were probably like this, like I was like, I need to do this though. Like I really want to make this entrepreneur thing work. I really want to start a business. And I mean, I didn't have like $16,000 cash flow to just kind of do that. We had just had our second kid. Daycare is insanely expensive. So it was like $16,000 of free cash flow just wasn't available at the time. So what they agreed on was this like pricing package for me where it's like, okay, if you agree to, cause I was very stressed, they could tell, but they were like, okay, I think we could close them if we make it a little less risky up front. So they're like, okay, if you give us $1,000 now, and then in 30 days, $3,000, and then every 30 days after that, you give us $4,000, totaling $16,000, guys. It's still insane, but by the way, it's totally worth it for, I think it was great, but I couldn't make it work. And that's the hard part. But so I get in, I sign up, I'm all excited, and I go like all in. Like the first few weeks, I'm doing like stupid hours, staying awake, trying to like go through their portal and just like learn stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I have to learn so many skills, like so many skills. And I just completely overlooked how many like new skills I would have to learn. And the stressful part is like, okay, I didn't think I was going to quit. And I was like, I can't quit. That didn't even cross my mind, but I was like, it's going to get very expensive very soon. And I need to be able to pay. I need to be able to make, get customers in the door to be able to pay for this $16,000 service that I agreed to, right? It's like, oh my gosh. So I was like, okay, I can handle $1,000. Okay. So I do that. I start doing all the stuff and I'm just like, again, it's just like crickets still. So they teach this, like DM strategy, like, okay, make content or boosted posts or something on Instagram. You get people to the DMs and then you sort of nurture them there. That's a classic. A lot of people do that, right? And I just had no skills in doing that. And I was so bad at first. Like one, I didn't know how to get the target audience. So at the time it was a high ticket sort of offer business thing. I've never done anything like that. I didn't even know how to sell to people or whatever. So my goal was like trying to find families or individuals, households with good income to be able to afford. It was a $997 package that I was trying to sell. And my God, I didn't know what I was doing. And I was getting the wrong people in. Like, these people were not financially qualified to be able to pay something like that, but I was just using it as practice. I couldn't get anyone onto a phone call. And I was like, man, so I just had to keep going back to the drawing board. And then eventually I got some calls and I was like, oh, wow, this is great. And the first call that I had, the guy was more interested in like investing, not necessarily what I was doing, which was helping people organize their finances to help people pay off their debt faster, maybe save more money, just build up their personal finance foundation. But it was a great experience. I got on one phone call and it was like, oh man, but this was 30 days after it started. I got my first call. Like, I was so terrible and my skills were just bad. And it's hard to say that out loud because when like in the moment, I'm like, oh man, this course or this like thing is really hard. And man, I don't know how people are doing it. Like, man, all these people must be lucky I would look at other people in the group and like, oh, of course they're winning. They have 10,000 people on Instagram, or, oh, they've been doing their business for a while. They have money to spend on ads and stuff, and poor me, wham, right? So it's really hard to look back and like, ooh, no, dude, that was your fault, right? So after 30 days, I got my first call. I was like, awesome. But that's when the $3,000 was due. I was like, oh my God. So the $3,000 came out and I was like, I have 30 days to make a lot of like some money, anything to be able to help the next payment of the $4,000. So over the next month, I go on 2 phone calls, and the first person was very underqualified as well. And what they teach inside the program is just like, especially if you're new and you're just kind of starting, just take people on, even if they can't give you the full amount. So obviously my thing was $997, and these 2 people, like, their jaws dropped, kind of like mine did when I heard $16,000. They're like, ooh, like, this sounds really, really helpful. I literally don't have the money for it. So the first guy, I was like, okay. He's like, he did the classic, like, hey, I'm getting paid in 1 week. I can do like 4 installments, but right now I literally have no cash in my bank account. And I was like, okay, sign up for me for $1. And that's going to be my commitment, or, you know, you're committing to this. And then in 4 weeks, you can, or in, it was like a few days, 4 days, you can give me $250 and we'll kind of just do a payment plan. So I charged him $1. And then a week later, he just like ghosted me, obviously, and I couldn't get a hold of him. So I refunded him the $1. Meanwhile, it was through PayPal, so I had a transaction fee. So I actually lost money on that, which is silly, but whatever. And then the next lady, again, like, super into it. She really thought it would be helpful. And again, I didn't know how to reach the right person. So she's like, I can give you $50 right now. And then the sort of a similar setup. It's like, I will do payment plans. And then a couple days after the call, she's like, you know what? I've done some thinking. And she had this other software that she had purchased like 6 months ago. And she's like, I'm just going to use this instead. I've already purchased it. I should probably try to make use of it. And I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. So I refunded her the $50. So again, with the transaction fee. So technically my first transactions in business, I ended up losing money. I couldn't even have someone, you know, keep $1. I couldn't keep $1 from someone. I couldn't keep $50 from someone. So that's really tough to look back. And then I just have goosebumps just thinking about this now, but the 30 days was up and I had a $4K payment coming up. And I was like, I can't do $4,000 right now. Like, the way, you know, things were in our life, it was, again, we just had our second kid. It was so tough. It was like tough financially. And I help people with their personal finances. We have buffers. Like, to be honest, I could have taken it from like savings or a buffer, and I just didn't want to do that. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. And I think it taught me that I need to be a little more risk averse. Like, I was a little concerned about the financial aspect of it. So I quit. I quit the course, or whatever it is, I quit it. And that's the hardest thing. And I hear people all the time that talk about business. They say stuff like, you know, it's not about the course or the person that you sign up with. It's about, like, do you make it work? Because at the end of the day, there's going to be good stuff out there, there's going to be bad stuff out there, but everyone has maybe one thing that they can learn from someone else. So like, do you make it work? And I didn't make it work. And it was very stressful at the end because not only was I paying for this money, but like I couldn't get organic leads. I couldn't get leads from content really. So I was paying for boosted posts and I was just getting the wrong people. I was getting people that were not financially qualified to buy like anything near a high ticket offer. $1,000, which isn't, I don't even know if that's considered high ticket. Maybe it's like the lowest end of high ticket. And I just didn't know what to do. So I was like burning cash through boosted posts because I had no skills with that. And then people would come into the DMs and I was so bad at nurturing them. Part of it was the confidence thing because I had never helped anyone before with this. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to charge someone this. And then I have to figure out how to help them and make myself valuable. So I quit. Really tough, kind of embarrassing. And it taught me a lot of lessons. So what I ended up doing was like, okay, I'm going to take a pause on this high ticket thing. Not that it doesn't work. This was a big mindset shift for me. Not that it doesn't work. It was, I couldn't make it work, which is harder. It's harder to say. It's so easy to point at external factors like, oh, this person's winning because of this. Oh, this course sucks because of this. No, the course that I took is super legitimate and I would actually recommend it to someone, but I don't think that I was the right fit for it because I was literally starting at zero with everything and I just didn't know how to build I didn't know how to build it, and that's on me. So I basically pivoted to daily organic content where I would basically shoot videos in my car on my way to work or on my way to pick up the kids from daycare. And I would just post daily. And I was like, I need to do this grind for like 30 days and just kind of see what happens. I ended up doing it for 75 days in a row. And I was like, okay, so now I need to like build up a better structure and kind of figure things out. So I went hard again on Instagram and I ended up just getting people. And my offer was free. Like, I'm just going to help you for free. Cause I just needed proof that not only could I do it, but I could, leverage that proof into telling other people that I could do it. Like, hey, I helped this one other person with this for free and I'm going to offer you the same thing. And then that's when I started getting more calls and like more coaching sessions with people and more testimonials. And it was great. And that was, maybe 1 month or something after I quit this high ticket program, I started getting calls and, actually, some of the people that I first started with, I still do coaching calls with them because I was like, you know what, I made a promise to you that actually I'm going to stay with you until you kind of don't need me anymore. That was kind of the plan. It's like, yeah, I usually do 3 to 5, but like 3 to 5 calls. But if you need me longer, I can do it. So yeah, I actually now I have a free personal finance community. Actually on school.com. It's such an awesome place for a newbie business owner, an entrepreneur, or wannabe entrepreneur, I guess. I technically haven't made $1 yet online, and that's totally fine because I've been providing value, at least I think so, and people, based on the testimonials that I've been getting and everything like that. But a couple of my earliest clients, we'll call them, are now in the community as well. But anyway, School is such a great platform. I would highly recommend it. If you have like a skill that you're trying to help people with, or just like you're passionate about something, like there's people making money online, on School for like art stuff, for skateboarding. I don't know, like all this crazy stuff. I have a link for School down in the description. I would just highly recommend it for anyone that's kind of starting out on their business. It's just so cool. But yeah, that was my story, guys. I failed. I learned a lot of lessons. I am learning to be a little more risk averse financially. That's just never been my cup of tea. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What stories have you had? What failures have you had that you can look at yourself in the mirror and be like, wow, I messed this one up big time. All right, guys, I'm doing these videos, Entrepreneur in Progress, to just kind of document my journey. So if you're liking them, come back, check out another one. Tell me your stories down. This is a community where I'm basically just trying to track my progress, but I know that there's other people out there that are in a similar situation because business is hard. And especially, not to make excuses, but someone like with a 9 to 5, with a family, like with all these obligations, it's hard. So this is me just trying to document it and me doubling down into the idea of like, hey, I really need to make this work. So I will see you in the next one.